Oh my god, it's...
What's up, people of the internet? My name is Andro, and holy cow. Obviously, again, I'm seated here today with Forrest, aka Funky Dude One himself. What's up, man?
Wow is the word of the hour. That was a lot of stuff that's just been dropped all at once
Pokemon.
in Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go. Dropping it like it's hot.
Yep. Hot, and all of a sudden, it was definitely a little bit more than we expected all at once. I was expecting a little more of a drip here, maybe an event beforehand, whatever, and it was just go.
Yeah. So not only did they announce the now currently running event with the new box in the store, but now there's also Meltan news out there. They reactivated the CP and HP adjustments that they tried to do weeks ago for all Pokemon Gen 1 through 3, because as you guys may or may not know, they did it rolling out for all the ones that are currently in Gen 4, so those didn't need any actual adjustments. But the Gens 1 through 3 that they previously had screwed up the HP on all of them, as far as needing to heal them to get them up to full health because of the change, has now been reinstated with the addition of Mewtwo actually being adjusted and getting that buff as well. Then we've got obviously the new egg event that they fully announced, and then a bunch of the Gen 4 evolutions from previous gens. So
Only about half of them, but still.
a lot to talk about today. A lot to unpack.
Where do we want to start?
Let's start with Meltan.
Okay. I've been following this, I guess, a little more closely just because I'm getting the game tomorrow. But some people have apparently gotten the game before Street Date, which happens. It's one of those things that's naturally going to happen. And have already started transferring Pokemon over to it, which in turn gives them the mystery box incense item that's available to capture Meltan in Pokemon Go. A couple details about it that we know so far is that the game immediately allows you to transfer Pokemon over. You don't have to reach any certain spot in the game.
You're talking about Let's Go?
In Let's Go,
yeah.
yes, sorry. In Let's Go, it immediately lets you transfer Pokemon from Pokemon Go into that game. So there is no wait time in order to get Meltan in Pokemon Go. We are still getting reports and kind of confirmed at this point that when you transfer Pokemon to Let's Go, you'll receive the mystery box in your Pokemon Go game. However, it does have a limit of once every 7 days, but that is tied to each individual Pokemon Go account. So
you can link your Go account, send yourself a mystery box, and then since I don't have a Switch, so I can link my Pokemon Go account to your Let's Go, and then it will also send me a mystery box at the same time.
Yeah, so that's correct. It's not linked to the Pokemon Let's Go game. It's one mystery box per week per every Go account. So not the Let's Go. It's just once every for each Go account. The spawn rates from it seem to be, as reports say, it's about one spawn every 3 minutes or so. Not as crazy as the videos and everything have made it out to be.
And that's important to note that those are spawns while your Pokemon Go character is walking.
That's while you're walking. If you're not walking,
much like an incense.
If you're not walking, it's about one every 10 minutes. So it's in your benefit when you hatch this box to be walking, possibly in an area that has lures and stuff, just because who knows how that's going to affect the box. But at that rate, people have been doing kind of their statistics that if you pineapple every single one of them, and if you were to transfer all of them except for one each time that you have the box active,
just keep your best one every time,
that you would be getting Melmetal, which is the evolution to Meltan, in about 4 to 6 weeks, depending on how often and how.
Because you need 400 candies.
You need 400 candies for it. This is not including if you're trading, because it is tradable.
Based on this screenshot too, it looks like they are going to be spawning at different levels in the wild. Because this is 20. Like a field research would be 1900 dust, and a raid boss would be 2500. So it looks like you'll actually be able to encounter different level wild Meltans. And as a steel type, if you can get one that's weather boosted, steel is just is that fog only?
I think it's snow.
Oh, snow. Okay, yeah, you're right. So if you're in a snowy climate right now and you have snowy weather, you can end up getting weather boosted Meltan spawns, which would be really nice, especially if you can manage to snag a good IV one.
But yeah, this is really good to note that this also doesn't include the trading between accounts. If you do trade somebody that is far away or has that distance marked on it,
they confirmed you can trade Meltan.
There are confirmations that you can trade Meltan.
Okay, good.
So if you were doing a far distance, you could potentially be getting an extra 2 candies or extra 3, I guess, with the transfer later on. Than what you would normally get, because if you transferred each one that you had extra, it'd be 1 candy, but if you traded it for a full 3 candies and then transferred the bad ones, you'd be getting 4 candies.
Plus the potential to re-roll any Meltans that are bad anyway into a possible 100 IV.
So definitely in benefits to try to trade them if you have somebody who has them already, because the Stardust count should be non-existent, especially at this point for people who are ultra friends, best friends, all those things. But we're learning more as it goes. Still waiting to find out confirmation on if you can trade Pokemon that have already been traded in Go into Let's Go, because that's another concern that people have about trying to free up storage space.
Oh,
but
okay.
We're finding it out as it's happening.
And has anybody reported if you can transmit them back?
You cannot. So once a Pokemon is transferred over to Pokemon Let's Go, it cannot return to Pokemon Go.
Okay.
And there has been at least one confirmation. Mewtwo cannot be traded to Let's Go. The legendary birds can. All the other Pokemon can. However, you cannot transfer any of your Mewtwo's over to Let's Go.
What about like Mew?
Mew, well, you can't trade it in Pokemon Go. And the Mew that comes in the Pokeball that you get, if you get with the game, there's a peripheral that you can't trade that. You can't trade Pokemon into Pokemon Go. So it's a permanent into your Let's Go account if you get the Pokeball Plus.
Interesting. All right. Well, that's pretty much it for Meltan. I mean, there's not much else to go on until everybody else has a chance to get a hand on those mystery boxes, and we get to play with them a little bit. But Forest is getting the game tomorrow.
Tomorrow they're doing
official release,
like an international release. So I think our time I'll be able to pick it up at like 8 or 9 o'clock tomorrow.
So maybe on Friday we'll be able to do some testing with that. Then
absolutely,
we could probably even do that with like a live stream here or something.
We'll try to do our best.
Might be able to get a screen capture of both the Switch screen and my phone or his phone, just depending on how we can get that set up. But look for that on Friday. Let's go ahead and talk about the CP and HP mostly increases for basically everything in the Pokedex. So I've got everything sorted by highest CP. So before it was my 2 Slakings, followed by Kyogre, then Groudon. And then I don't think Ho-Oh was next in line after that. It was Mewtwo then Ho-Oh. So Mewtwo actually got the increase this time. So let me see. Is this article?
I don't know if
it starts with the eggs. No, this one. It just mentions the rebalance there. But it was this was shouted out on Twitter as well. Let me see.
We're looking up to see if we can get the official numbers on it, but we do know that certain Pokemon, obviously, we've been over this before. Specific Pokemon got boosts, some of them did not. There we go. We're pulling this up right now.
So the official Pokemon Go Twitter did announce today, or I guess that was last night at 8 p.m. that the CP values and adjustments were going to be re-rolled out starting November 14th. So they rolled that all out today. I literally woke up to a hailstorm of things going on in Pokemon. But yeah, mostly what happened was most things got about a 200 CP bump. So my Mewtwo was at 3963. It's now up to 4160 with an increase in its HP. You have Tyranitar with almost a 200 CP bump. Rayquaza was similar. So it's most Pokemon went up at about 200 CP. And that's for my maxed out. I'm looking at like my maxed out like top 24 here and just going down the list. Mew was at 3090 and now it's at 3238. My Celebi was at exactly 3000. Now it's at 3173 and both of those guys are maxed out. There's just a lot of adjustments. Gardevoir is now above 3000 CP. Alakazam goes above 3000 CP. Articuno finally gets a bump above 3000. Machamp gets the buff. Scizor gets the buff. It literally just makes the cut. That's a 100 CP maxed out Scizor goes to 3001 CP. So just makes the cut above 3000.
Pretty much everything, I think.
It looks like 100 Executor and 100 Vaporeon would also make that cut.
We already kind of talked about this before. The one that was affected the most, obviously, are your Blissies and Chanseys. That got about a 400 CP decrease.
Yeah, actually, this Blissey was at 3150.
Yeah, so they got
so
almost
that's
a
almost
400
it's
CP.
like 450. It's like a 450 CP decrease. With really only losing like 10 HP, or I think it lost like 11 or 12. If I remember, because I believe it had like 410 HP before. I'd have to go back and look at my old screenshots.
Not the end of the world, as we all know. Fighting
but
Blissies.
As far the defense stat is really where Blissey took the hit. So very very interesting. We'll see how the gym meta changes and shifts now, because I mean the old gym system used to be all about CP, because you wanted to be in that highest tier of the gym, 1 through 10, so that you were the last Pokemon to be battled. Because if you had the lower CP Pokemon, it was the first up on the list to get axed off. So now, with the way the gym system is, Blissey will still be a top tier defender just because it has so much health. But I'm sure there will be a mix up as to what becomes the true next in line behind Blissey. It'll be much closer as far as defenses. So it'll be fun to do testing now that the actual changes are live and we can actually do testing. It'll be fun to compare battling a Blissey, because I can go back and find archival footage of battling Blisseys before and after, and we can kind of see the difference there. But
so that'll be a video, I'm sure, on your channel coming up here soon when you get the time.
Yeah,
to go out and test
once
things.
I mean, if this stuff ever stops and I've got a chance to take a break.
More events though. In the meantime, we got Hatchathon.
Yeah, so we know that the 7K egg thing is still apparently going on. That they never announced for whatever reason. So Niantic never really officially announced that the 7Ks were hatching the babies with shinies, but now in addition to that, they are doing a 2K egg event, which has even more. So this was the notification that came out today, talking about Pokemon such as Rhyhorn, Porygon, and Magby will be present in 2K eggs. So obviously Rhyhorn was like a 5K egg staple. Porygon has switched back and forth between 5 to 10s. I honestly can't even remember. I don't even know where it is at this point. Magby and then Elekid has been finally made as a shiny available. So that's finally you have a chance to get a shiny Elekid, Electabuzz, and now Electivire with that new evolution introduced. So
this goes until the 27th.
Yep.
So from now until the 27th of November, which is a couple weeks. It's a good amount of time. 2K eggs are really easy to hatch anyway, so
especially with super incubators.
And with super incubators, it's even better. Who knows if they'll throw some sort of event in there that decreases hatch distance or something in the middle of it too.
And with this, they also introduced they redid the boxes. So now the Ultra Box has a higher emphasis on incubators. So the Star Piece one from Double Stardust is obviously gone. It ended yesterday with the end of that event, and now at the beginning of this event, we've got the Ultra Box that has 12 incubators, 6 lucky eggs, 8 premium raid passes, 5 lures. Your Great Box is significantly less. The Ultra Box is definitely the best buy here. You get incense instead of incense in this one instead of lure modules, and the Special Box is just straight garbage. So with 3 regular incubators, which nobody wants, 1 incense, 2 passes, and 1 lure module. Still not a bad price for what you're getting for the amount of Pokecoins that it costs. But yeah, the best bang for your buck is certainly the Ultra Box, because I mean just the super incubators alone, like if you look at the store, they still sell the super incubators for 200 coins. So you're getting 12. So that would cost you 2,400 Pokecoins to buy those super incubators individually. So you're already just on that alone saving almost $10.
Well, plus the lucky eggs on top of it, or
yeah,
an
plus you're getting
what?
lucky eggs. That a batch of 6 lucky eggs and 8 raid passes. Those are $1 a piece if you buy them individually, plus lure modules. So certainly the best box. I only buy the Ultra Boxes. That's all I've bought for a long time, just because Niantic finally figured out how to make them an actual good value.
The ones that everybody wants.
So they're actually a good value, and they have been for several months. So that's what I stick with this. Not really much to dive into as far as these 2Ks.
I will say in this event announcement, however, it does say Pokemon with evolved forms originally discovered, and it mentions a few specifically as Rhyhorn, Porygon, and Magby. However, we know Elekid. We don't know if they're going to put back the other baby Pokemon into these two.
I'm sure Togepi will be included in there.
Maybe increased Bidoof out of 2K eggs because it has an evolution.
Possibly they could add Bidoof to the 2Ks with the shiny.
Ralts. Think of all the Pokemon that have evolutions coming up. There's a chance that this egg pool for 2Ks during this event could be a pretty big...
Well, it seems like the ones that they're including are the ones that they've already unloaded the evolutions into the game for, because they specifically, and we'll get to that in just a second with that's our next topic, but Rhyhorn, Porygon, Magby, and Elekid all have their final evolved forms available in the game now.
Yes.
So I'm guessing like the ones that are excluded from the list, like Ralts and Tangela, will not be included, but we'll have to wait and see. Shiny Aaron?
No. It would have been good for the stream, man.
Yeah, would have.
Gen 4 evolution. So let's take a look at that
we're
list.
We're gonna go right on to the evolutions that have been added.
And details that we learned about this Sinnoh stone that was in traffic forever and that was uploaded to the game slowly but surely, had the image added. We now know more about how to obtain it.
So, and just like we predicted, the Sinnoh stone is exactly how they are doing it seems like almost all of the Gen 4 evolutions from previous gens.
That seems to be the case. I was looking at the ones that are available versus the ones that aren't. There seems to be kind of a pattern with a lot of these. However, it's not a guaranteed pattern, so we're kind of just keeping our eye out on it. But the confirmed species that you are able to evolve now for their Gen 4 evolutions are Rhydon, Magmar, Electabuzz, Misdreavus, Gligar, your Porygon 2s, Murkrows, Sneasels, Roselias, Togetics, and Dusclops. All of those are able to evolve. Mostly, I believe they're all almost 100 candies plus the Sinnoh Stone item.
I think they all are.
There has been news that certain Pokemon had their evolution cost of their previous evolutions reduced, and that included Rhyhorn, Togepi, Duskull, and Porygon, who went from 50 candies down to 25 candies.
Yeah, so previously, like, if you were evolving a Rhyhorn or Rhydon, it would cost you 50 candies, and that was the only evolution available. But now, since Rhyperior has been added, you can actually evolve a Rhyhorn. Let me get to that real quick. You can evolve a Rhyhorn for only 25. Let's see. So you can evolve Rhyhorn into Rhydon for 25, and then Rhydon into Rhyperior for 100 plus the Sinnoh Stone. I do want to look at the entire list kind of chronologically as far as like numbers. So Magnezone has not been added. So if you look at Magneton, you still can't evolve to Magnezone. With Rhyperior being added, obviously we just saw that, but you can't evolve your Rhydons.
Before you get too far, I believe was Eevee before that, or after?
No, Eevee's after. I
Okay.
think. Tangela is not yet added, so Tangela is not included in this evolution chain yet. Let's see. Electivire is live. So you can do Electivire there, and then going right into Magmortar also. So Electivire and Magmortar are also available. Let's see, Pinsir, no. Eevees, the evolutions, the Leafeon and Glaceon are not yet available. There has been nobody that's been able to evolve those guys yet.
Keep an eye out for a possible name trick coming up for those as well, for evolutions as well as this item.
Here I'm just showing Porygon has been reduced from 50 candy to evolve from Porygon to Porygon 2 to 25 there. So another significant change. That's really it for Gen 1.
Lickitung that we passed over was not able to evolve yet.
I did skip Lickitung.
Lickitung is not able to evolve into Licky yet.
Where's Lickitung? Oh, right here.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, so Lickitung has not been added. So still waiting for Lickitung, Tangela, Magneton, and Eevee from Gen 1. Then going into Gen 2, scroll back down through all the mess.
For those of you not watching this on YouTube,
I'm going through the actual list to show you guys how it looks in game. So let's see. The first one in Gen 2 is going to be Togepi and Togetic. So Togepi's evolution has been reduced from 50 candies to 25 into Togetic, and then Togetic does have Togekiss's evolution available for the 100 plus the Sinnoh Stone. Let's see. Next. Apom and Yanma here. So Apom has still not been added to the game. As you can see there, it's just still Apom, as well as going into Yanmega. Yanma still does not have that evolution available to it. Continuing down though, Murkrow has been available to evolve now to Honchkrow. So that is available with the Sinnoh Stone if you've got any good Murkrows. Misdreavus now has, what was it, Miss Magius? Miss Magius is now available. So that's cool. Going past all the unknowns. Let's see. Gligar is, was it Gliscor? Gliscor is now available. I don't know if anybody's in a big rush to have the first Hundo maxed out Gliscor.
That would probably not be the top of my list to evolve.
So meta relevant.
Real quick, too, before we get too far, just a confirmation that also came down for Rhyperior is that it can either, once evolved, it either has the move or it could be TM to have the move Smackdown.
Smackdown.
Which is a pretty significant thing that has been discovered, because that puts it up there, if not better than Tyranitar, Smackdown Tyranitar, for a lot of these battles that are happening. So we are kind of discovering this.
Smackdown Stone Edge. Boom.
Smackdown Stone Edge would be your best bet for that. So if you can, get that on your Rhyperiors when you evolve them as fast as possible.
I think Rhyperior has... Well, look. So it's base attack 256 if we do T-Tar. 266. Wrecked.
It's still...
Its CP will be higher because these CPs here are not on Poke Assistant, aren't the changed ones.
But does it have better defense?
Well, I'll have to see after the... Don't I have that bookmarked somewhere? Hang on. Okay, Sneasel. We'll continue on with the evolution. So Sneasel and Weavile are available now for the 100 there. Pillow-Swine not yet available to evolve into Mamoswine.
Unfortunate, because that's a pretty good ice attacker.
Yeah, because Mamoswine's a beast. So not available there yet. What else? Porygon 2 into Porygon Z. So that is available for the 100 candies. So remember that Porygon has been reduced. So if I have one Hundo Porygon that I will be evolving to Porygon Z. So it will only cost, it's nice because it will only cost 125 instead of 150 candy to evolve that. Let's see. Elekid is as the new shiny, obviously, and we already saw Electabuzz. I think that's it for Gen 2.
Yep.
Then going into Gen 3 stuff that's available to evolve. Let's see. I think it starts with, okay, so as we know, Kirlia, a male Kirlia can evolve into Gallade. So I actually had three Ralts. This was my only male Ralts, and I evolved it to Kirlia earlier to see if it got the option with a Sinnoh Stone to evolve to Gallade, and it does not yet. So it's still just Gardevoir, so continue to hold on to those male Ralts or Kirlia that you have that are good, because you don't want to miss out on your chance to get a good Gallade. So
pay attention to which Kirlia you're evolving.
Yeah, make sure you're hanging on to at least one good male Ralts or Kirlia. Let's see. Nication Ninja. Nosepass. Nosepass still does not have the Probopass evolution. So no Probopass yet. But Nosepass is still there sitting. We do have, once we get down to him here, the Ghost. Rosalia, Roserade is finally available. So some of the Gen 3s are available. You do have the ability to evolve Rosalia into Roserade, so it's kind of cool because I've got 2 hundos of those plus a couple of
shinies,
plus a couple of shinies sitting there. Let's see. Spin the Spoink, Swablu. Where are the Ghosts? The Ghosts have to be the next ones, I think. Or I guess it'd just be Dusclops because Shuppet's already fully evolved with Bayonet. So Dusclops does evolve now to Dusk Noir, the 3rd evolution. So, and you can see that Duskull has been reduced from those 50 candies down to 25. So used to be 50 to get a Dusclops, now it's 25, and then you can evolve those Dusclops into Dusk Noir with the Sinnoh Stone. And I think that might be... Oh, Snorunt. So Snorunt actually has a split evolution. It can either become Galil or it can become Frostlass, right?
Yep.
And Frostlass is not yet in the game either. So
on your screen right now, that's a male, so obviously it couldn't turn into Frostlass.
There's a female.
There's your female, just to show that it doesn't have that evolution available yet.
Mm-hmm.
We are seeing a pattern, kind of. I was talking about this.
Yeah.
The species that are not available to evolve yet seem to be the ones that either required a different item or have a split evolution, are evolved via being in a specific location. Specifically, Leafeon, Glaceon, Nosepass, and Magneton were required to be evolved at a specific location. And then the other ones were required to have special moves to evolve. So those ones are the ones that are left that seem to be the ones that they either had trouble with trying to figure out how they're going to do it, or were trying to maybe come up with a system.
I think they're just milking it, so because it's as of right now. One of the important things to note, as of right now, there is only one way to get these Sinnoh stones, and that is through your 7-day field research streak. So, well, I guess it doesn't have to be a streak,
It's
but
your breakthrough.
Yeah,
Your
research breakthrough. So once you earn that 7-day stamp and you get your research breakthrough, you get 1 Sinnoh stone. So obviously, and there's an official. So the guys from the Silphro Reddit, they actually reached out to Niantic to see if there was any official word on if there was any other way to get Sinnoh stones, and Liz from Niantic shared this. So. Says, we have heard reports that trainers are receiving the Sinnoh Stone from research breakthroughs. We are excited to see what else trainers will discover as they continue to explore. There will be, emphasis on will be, more ways to get the Sinnoh Stone in the future, implying that right now the only way to get the Sinnoh Stone is through the research breakthrough. And then she says, stay tuned to our official channels for updates. So obviously following, if you're not already following Pokemon Go on Twitter or on Instagram or something like that, that's where they're the most active with posting updates.
And for those who were wondering, there have been people who have done their 7-day Pokestop streak just to see if it would give them that item, and they have not received the Sinnoh Stone. So it is right now only in the 7-day breakthrough research that you achieve. Important to note on that as far as that goes. But there's a lot of game changers in this evolution bunch. I would say Rhyperior is one of them.
Speaking of, I found that chart. So
we're coming back with the chart information for you guys.
So if we want to compare Tyranitar.
Tyranitar is Gen 2.
Yeah.
You're in Gen 3.
Oh, you're right.
Hear that, everybody? I'm right.
All right. So Tyranitar. These are base stats. So 38, 34 for the Hundo max, 251 attack, 207. So 251, 207, and 225 HP. So 251 and 207 are the ones to remember there. 251, 207.
And Rhyperior.
Where does he fall?
Later on.
Okay. 251, 207. And okay, so 251. Okay, so T-Tar still has 10 base attack and 17 defense higher. Rhyperior does have more HP, so that's the difference. And Rhyperior's max CP is actually still lower. So 30, 38, 38, 34. No, Tyranitar is Rock Dark.
So that's where Rhyperior could have an advantage as far as different weaknesses and different strengths.
It doesn't have a double weakness to fighting.
Rock.
It doesn't have double weakness to fighting.
It does have double weakness to fighting.
No, single. Double weakness to grass and double weakness to water. So that would be the really only difference there. Is it's Rhyperior is going to have some more HP. And then it doesn't have the double weakness to fighting that Tyranitar has, because Tyranitar is rock and dark, which has a double weakness to fighting attacks, probably single weak to grass and single weak to water, whereas Rhyperior is double weak to water and double weak to grass. So you've got, your new boosted Venusaurs with Frenzy Plant are going to shred a Rhyperior, or your old Vaporeons with Hydro Pump, or your double water Gyarados or Kyogre will absolutely shred a Rhyperior.
Or your Squirtle Squad Blastoise, bro.
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah.
With Hydro Cannon.
Yeah. Hydro Cannon Blastoise with the shades on.
Get a stun of shades. But yeah, so that's the difference. It's 10. Excuse me. Tyranitar still has 10 base attack stat higher than Rhyperior and 17 higher base defense stats, but its stamina is about 26 lower, because I believe it was 225 for stamina on Tyranitar. So not too bad. But yeah, with Stone Edge and Smackdown, it is definitely going to be the second strongest rock attacker available, and probably obviously a much better gym defender, because most people are still going to be dropping Blissies and Chanseys and things that are weak to fighting into gyms. So you can throw a Rhyperior in there instead of a Tyranitar, because it's only going to have a single weakness instead of a double weakness to fighting attacks. And then it mixes it up a little bit. It's better than Rhydon by far as stats go. But yeah, and the ability to learn Smackdown improves it quite a bit. So very good. Anything else as far as meta relevance that we want to look at?
Not sure how Magmar and Electabuzz evolutions line up for things. I don't know if they're kind of up there in bulkiness.
I know Porygon Z becomes far and away the best normal attacker. Weavile, I believe, becomes a pretty significant ice attacker.
It's a fast ice attacker.
Well, let's see. So if we look at, let's see, this is just all ice.
Sneasel, yeah, Sneasel.
So Articuno,
it'll be in the next.
Oh, it's on the next page. Okay. So if you look at right now, as far as ice attackers, it's funny because the highest attack stat is Jinx at 223. But if let's see, and then Articuno was what? Articuno was 192 and Jinx is 223. So then if we look at Weavile, 243. So far and away, even stronger than the evolution of Glaceon. And actually, Mamoswine, once they finally get around to dropping Mamoswine's a beast.
Mm-hmm.
So Mamoswine becomes far and away, well, it's Weavile and Mamoswine become top tier. And then obviously you've got some others from later gens in here, but as far as what we're gonna have, it'll go up to Frostlass into Gen 4. So far and away, the top tier ice attackers are all Gen 4. It's Weavile, Glaceon, and Mamoswine, followed by Jinx and then Articuno. So interesting mix up there to that category. If we want to look at Magmortar here, so let's see, Charizard's 223, Arcanine 227. Flareon 246, Moltres 251. Okay, so we'll go off Moltres 251. Typhlosion and Charizard have the same attacks, have the exact same stats. Let's see, Moltres, so 251. Then we've got Ho-Oh 239, Blaziken 240, and okay, Magmortar, so 247. So almost as powerful of an attacker as Moltres is, and actually better than Entei. So Magmortar is a stronger attacker and defender,
and doesn't have the weaknesses of flying type that Moltres.
That Moltres has. Okay,
is Moltres? I believe Moltres is
fire and flying. Correct. Okay. Yeah. Moltres is fire flying.
So less weaknesses than Moltres,
Mm-hmm.
and about equivalent in its stats.
Yeah, 251 to 181, and 247 to 172. So yeah, the only real significance is that Moltres' HP is higher by about 30 or 26 points.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really, HP doesn't really mean a whole lot in this game. So Magmortar is actually going to be a top tier fire attacker. If we want to look at Electivire and Magnezone once they are introduced. So right now, your top electric attacker, honestly, it's definitely Zapdos and Raikou. So we got 211 on Alolan Golem, 223 on regular Magneton, Jolteon 232, Zapdos bumped up to 253. Ampharos is pretty low there. Raikou 241. So Zapdos actually has higher attack and just slightly lower defense. So, but as far as attacking, Zapdos is actually your new top tier. But then let's look at Luxray is decent, but let's look at Electivire. So both Magnezone and Electivire, 238 and 249. So that's almost Electivire is almost so 253 with Zapdos.
Yeah.
So pretty close. Both of those guys max out above 3,000.
And once again have benefits with different weaknesses and resistances because Electivire doesn't have flying type like Zapdos does.
And Magnezone actually is probably going to be a top tier attacker and defender because of its dual typing with Electric Steel. And it's got really solid defense stat. It's over 200 still on defense. So that Magnezone might actually become a new top tier gym defender.
The only thing I could see is that fire kind of wrecks it.
Yeah, but how often do you attack a gym with fire types?
If it had Magnezones in it.
Well, sure, but I mean, not that often.
True.
It'll mix it up enough to where people can't just go and fight gyms with Machamps.
Yeah.
So anything that's not weak to fighting is a welcome addition to the gym meta. If we want to look at fairy types,
I think Togekiss loses its fairy type.
Doesn't.
It's
it's still there.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. So fairy flying. So Togekiss. I wonder if they're gonna drop Mine Junior into those 2K eggs because that wasn't mentioned.
I think they would have. I think
they probably would have mentioned people. It. Yeah, they're probably saving that for Easter or something. Gardevoir, Gallade isn't fairy any longer, right? It's like grass. It's like psychic grass.
What is
Gallade? What's Gallade?
Fighting.
Oh, psychic fighting. That's right. Okay. So there's not really a whole lot of good attackers in the fairy category. Gardevoir is still the best. Togekiss.
It's not far behind.
Togekiss has much more bulk, so it's a way better defender as far as dropping it onto gyms. So Togekiss is a really good option as a gym defender, especially if it can learn Dazzling Gleam like
a quick type fairy move would be definitely.
Oh my gosh, a quick type fairy move would be god tier.
I don't know if they've added a quick type fairy move into it yet. I don't know if there's a way.
This is saying here Air Slash and Dazzling Gleam, but Machamp is also weak to flying, right? Fighting is weak to flying, I believe. Yes,
I think so.
So that's actually really good. So Air Slash and Dazzling Gleam is really good because if you look at let's pull. I want to pull up.
Well, and especially another thing to
I'll
put
pull up Machamp
for all those times that people put in.
Yeah, he's weak to both.
So especially all those times that people have put in Gardevoir when there's already Blissies and Chanseys because it's a good counter to Machamp.
I love dropping Gardevoir in there. Yeah.
Well, because it's a good counter to Machamp. This is also almost a better solution for Machamp.
Oh, it definitely is because it's bulkier. Its defenses and HP are higher than Gardevoir, and it can learn 2 attacks that Machamp is weak to. So Togekiss is actually a very good option to drop into a gym as a defender, especially in between any of the normal types that are weak to fighting. So very good option there. And its typing reduces, it's double resistant to fighting moves.
Yeah.
So a very good option to drop into gyms as a defender.
And that could be why they're waiting on some of these Gen 4 evolutions, is just to see how the meta's going to change up everything with some of them.
Maybe.
Because I think if they dropped everything at once, it's a mad struggle to see, ice types and fairy types now and all these things changing everything at once. So maybe it's okay, let's slowly get into this and see how it's going to change everything in the player database and how fast we're going to have to update our servers. They still need to do some storage space, but we've talked about that enough, especially with these new things. But
I guess I could have been sorting it like this.
Yeah.
So,
but it's interesting. It's interesting that these items right now are only in the 7-day breakthroughs, which means that right now it's a minimum of at least 20 weeks to be able to get one of each type of not even, because half of them aren't even released. So.
So you can't even get all of them. These are the only ones that are currently available. So you can evolve Rhydon to Rhyperior, you can evolve Magmar to Magmortar, Electabuzz to Electivire, Misdreavus to Mismagius, Gligar to Gliscor, Porygon 2 to Porygon Z, Murkrow to Honchkrow, Sneasel to Weavile, Rosalia to Roserade, Togetic to Togekiss, and Dusclops to Dusknoir.
So that's 11, and that's not including shiny forms of things. So if you were to try to evolve at least one shiny form of things, you have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You have 17 to evolve.
Options, yeah.
If you're trying to do shiny versions and a normal version, and that's just one of these Gen 4 evolutions.
Yeah.
So that's 17 weeks to occupy us until hopefully they'll come out with a new way to have
I
the
guarantee
Sinnoh
you they
Stone.
will add them to random drops from regular stops, just like you can get the other evolution items, as well as dropping them as part of your 7-day stop streak and not just your stamp.
And potentially now with Pokemon Let's Go, there's been rumors too that when you have a Pokemon in that Pokeball Plus peripheral, that the more that you walk it, it'll actually collect items and give you in-game gifts for Pokemon Go.
Interesting.
So potentially that could be a way of unlocking more Sinnoh Stones if they have that as a reward item in that as well.
Very interesting stuff. So yeah, a lot to break down and go through today. I hope you guys are enjoying the update. Like I said, there will be obviously needing to do some testing with what's going to be the new top tier gym defenders and everything, with how much the meta has shifted with the CP and HP changes finally being introduced, as well as Mewtwo actually getting a buff, whereas before when they tested it, Mewtwo wasn't changed at all. So now that again even shifts the meta that much more. So a lot of stuff today. I mean, the Meltan Mystery Boxes, Pokemon Let's Go coming out tomorrow night officially. All the CP and HP changes, the addition to the not only the 7K eggs still hatching babies, but now they've officially started that event with the 2Ks. So just a whole ton of stuff going on. So stay tuned to my YouTube channel. Stay tuned to the Pokemon channels on their Twitter and Instagram. Those are going to be your fastest way to get updates on everything that's changing with this game, since it's coming at us fast and furious these days. So thank you, Forrest, again for coming by and getting this podcast out there for the people.
Absolutely. Glad to be here for all this. And then, as I said, we'll do some more footage with Pokemon Let's Go as it's coming, because I'm getting that tomorrow. So we'll be able to live stream as much as possible and get some screenshots or some more information out to you guys as soon as possible.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching and or listening. Like I said, if you enjoy this content, please give it a like. It really helps out my channel, and consider subscribing if you want more Pokemon Go content. So until next time, guys, I'm Loco, he's Forrest, and we'll see you guys later. Peace, Poke Trainers!